the road between Passage and Cork, there's an old mansion called Ronayne's Court. Under its many chimneys, the worthy couple Ronayne kept house. They had but one son, Philip, named after no less a personage than the King of Spain. Both father and mother were very proud of their son, and they thought him very clever. For example, they told their friends that the very first time that Philip got a primer in his hands, he ripped out the ABC page because, of course, he knew everything that was on it. One morning, Master Phil, who was 7 at the time, was missing. The servants searched far and wide and came back empty-handed. A large reward brought no news of the boy's whereabouts. Years passed. In a nearby village lived Robin Kelly, a blacksmith by trade. He was a jovial fellow. He sang at weddings. He interpreted dreams for young girls. And he entertained everybody at the pub with all of his stories. One night, Robin was dreaming, and he thought he saw Philip Ronayne in the dream. The boy was mounted on a beautiful white horse. And he said, "Mr. Kelly, I was carried off by the giant Mon MacMahon and made to serve at his page. My 7 years of service are done, and if you come release me this very night, you will want for nothing for the rest of your life." Now, Robin was still half asleep, but he said, I know that this is not just another strange dream. Take that for a sign! And the horse kicked Robin so hard in the head that he woke up screaming bloody murder. Ah! When he looked at the mirror, he saw the mark of a horseshoe on his forehead, as red as blood. Everybody knew about the giant stairs. It was a mass of rock, one upon the other, boulders piled up, rising deeply like a flight of stairs from deep inside the water of the bay. Legend had it that the giant lived in the cliff behind the stairs. Now this dream was so compelling that Robin just couldn't let it go. So he set out to check it out. He walked to Monkstown, and he found there an old friend who offered him the use of a rowboat. And after dinner, Robin set out. The boat glided very smoothly. It was a beautiful night with a full moon, everything very still. The only sounds was the lapping of the oars and the distant singing of the sailor. And nothing else disturbed the quiet of the sea and the sky and the earth. Soon Robin was under the stairs. There was the shadows there because of the moon. And he looked around, and he couldn't see anything. And he got really impatient, and he waited and waited. Finally he told himself, "Robin, what a fool you've been to come here just on the strength of a dream." And just as he spoke, a dim light appeared in the cliff, as a huge porch the size of a king's palace opened up. And Robin had brought a plow iron from his shop because he had used it in the past to settle some disputes very nicely. So he took it with him, and he walked into the porch. Wild and strange was his entrance, covered with grim and grotesque faces that were so strange that you didn't know where one ended and started. The chin on one became the nose of another, and what at first you thought was an eye turned into a gaping mouth. Robin's imagination went double time. He turned all of these faces into a series of changing, horrific sights. And as he walked through the passage, he heard a deep, rumbling noise, as if the earth was about to swallow him up and entomb him there forever. And again Robin said, Robin, if I was a fool the first time, what in the name of fortune am I now to be here? And again as he spoke, he saw another light, a dim light in the distance, and he walked to it. And he walked into a giant chamber. There he saw the giant Man MacMahon, sitting at the head of his table, with a beard that was so long that over the ages it had grown into the stone slab on which he was sitting. And as soon as the giant saw him, he stood up quickly and pulled the beard out so suddenly that the table shattered into 1,000 pieces. "What seek you?" he demanded. I come to get Philip Ronayne, whose time of service is up tonight. Robin was petrified. And the giant replied, "You may take Philip Ronayne, but you must choose right. If you don't choose the right boy, your life is forfeit! Ha 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 ha! Follow me!" Robin didn't know what to say. He barely remembered Philip Ronayne from the dream. He didn't know what to do. And as he walked into a hall where the giant led him, he saw hundreds of boys, all apparently 7 years old, and all dressed alike in green. So Robin continued to walk by the giant, not saying anything, pretending that everything was okay. And at the end, as he neared the end of the hall, he thought, the only way I'm going to get out of this is if I make friends with the giant. So he said to the giant, "These children look really wonderful. They've been out of the sun and fresh air for so long, but boy, they sure look good. You've taken great care of them, Your Honor." "Ah, you're right. You're an honest fellow. Give me your hand." Well, Robin took one look at this giant hand and he said, "No way." So instead he took his plow iron and handed it to the giant. And the giant took it, curious, and began twirling it around as if it was a potato stalk. The moment the children saw this, they burst out laughing. And through the giggles, Robin thought he heard his name called. Robin, Robin. So he put his hand on the boy whom he thought had called his name. And he said, "Let me live or die for it, but this is Philip Ronayne." Suddenly everything was dark. There were crashing noises everywhere. Pandemonium broke loose, and Robin held on to the boy as best he could. And the next thing he remembered, he was lying at the base of the giant steps in the gray dawn, with the boy still clasping his hands. Now, on the way home, Robin met a lot of his friends, and they all had the same question. How do you know that this is Philip Ronayne? The problem was that the boy still looked exactly the same as on the day he vanished. And when he spoke about things that happened before, it was like it had happened yesterday. But when Robin got to Ronayne's court, the worthy couple of Ronayne's court had no doubt that Robin had rescued their son from the danger of the giant McMahon. And the size of the reward they gave him equaled their gratitude. Mr. Toastmaster.